Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 256. It's your boy A-Dub.
Hey, boys, Trizzy, what's up, SLAC fam? Welcome back, everybody.
Back in the building. What's good, fam? Oh, man. Another Tuesday, and time is just flying by. I feel like we just sat down and talked, but lots of different things to catch up on, lots of good things to look forward to. But before we do, want to welcome in everybody. As always, we love having you guys with us and being a part of the show. So if you're watching live, don't hesitate to drop those comments. Let us know you're watching, where you're watching from, if you and then also if you have any thoughts on the topics, you know what I'm saying, just holler out at us. Before we get going though, let's do our check-in as always. Strizzy, how you feeling today? What's good?
Dude, I'm doing good, man. Like I don't know if I told you, I can't remember if it happened. I don't remember if it happened. I don't know, I think I texted you actually, but I got some good news. You know what I'm saying? Late last week, you guys probably saw, I've done a couple of videos for this clothing company called Kufandi, just within the last 6 months or so, and it's a collaboration thing, so they kind of pay me per video. We just kind of increased the the pay per video, so make more money per video now, which is dope. They doubled it, and that's then their annual they will call it fashion show is in New York every year. And they invited your boy out it's in New York till or in September, early September, and basically it's an all expense paid vacation. You know what I'm saying? So I'll get my hotel, the room, travel, and cars and stuff like that or whatever. Like everything will be paid for.
Yeah.
And then they'll also pay me for the video they want me to put together for them as well. So. That was huge news. It's funny because I think their base is based out in China. So, anytime they email me, I get it at 12:30 at night, at the earliest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I woke up to it, you know what I mean? So it was really, really cool news. It's just probably the biggest thing that's happened to me since I've been a content creator over the last 3+ years now. You know what I mean? Kind of started when COVID started, but I'm super excited about it. You know what I mean? I'm trying not to get overly excited. A lot can happen in a couple of months, but as of right now, it is a thing. So I'm excited about it, man. I'm super happy and can't wait.
That's what's up, man. Yes, absolutely. That is so dope. Some congrats coming in the comments, and just for me, so proud of you, man. Like we've known each other for a very, very long time.
Super long time.
Since 06, 07 days. Yeah. So we've known each other a long time, and even before the content stuff, but we got together on some content, and we started this podcast. You started your thing. If you're not following Strizzy, if you're on the TikTok, make sure you're on his TikTok, on IG as well, on his YouTube. And yeah, you talked about just being consistent and that these type of things would happen for you one day. So super blessed to be able to see the journey, and then also to be able to congratulate you, man, and root you on, dude. That's so dope. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, that is definitely big too. I appreciate all the Slackers. I get a lot of love from Slacks. Kelly's always laughing at me on Instagram and things of nature. In my stories and all my videos and stuff like that, and Ann as well going on there and commenting, and you sharing my videos and stuff like that. So what I'm saying, you guys play a really big part, because I don't think a lot of people who are starting to content create realize how long those shares and the engagement and stuff like that goes. Yeah. So you guys are a monstrous part of my success, our success, with the podcast and everything. So I really do appreciate all the love and stuff we've gotten over these last couple of years. So just another kind of humbling experience,
Yeah.
Just to remind me, who's behind us and all that kind of stuff like that. So yet again, extremely blessed to be where I'm at, and appreciate everybody for real.
Absolutely. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. So very excited to hear more about that. And definitely kind of we'll be able to get that real life behind the scenes view of how that goes. So
yeah,
very exciting. Well, I couldn't think of a better way to start off the show, so we'll go ahead and get things kicked off real quick. Do want to welcome in Ant. We got Kelly in the building as well, Stephanie Washington, and Pops on the comment board so far. So thank you all for being here with us as always. And another episode of SLAC. Let's see what we got in store this time. Let me put up the screen real quick, and we can get things going. And our first topic, we're going to jump into basketball, a little bit of Team USA. LeBron going to be the flag carrier for the U.S., which is super dope. There's only, one male and one female when they do the opening ceremonies. That's going to be on Friday. Yeah. This obviously not taken from a real ceremony, but after the game, the gold medal game or whatever. So And he'll also be looking a lot different this time around for sure. You know what I'm saying? It's a piece of years gone by since then. But I wanted to talk real quick about I think it is cool that LeBron is going to be carrying it. I know a lot of times, I think this is actually the first time a men's basketball player has gotten to carry the flag.
Right. I think so too. It's
usually
thinking
like,
about it.
Yeah, like somebody from like a different sport or somebody that like the Olympics is like the highest level they're going to compete at.
Right.
So, but it's pretty cool. Obviously, this will be LeBron's last go round, and he's definitely a big figure in American sports. So I think that's dope. But what did you think about him getting that honor?
I think it's dope. Like you said, sometimes I think you gotta take what we might call the little things for granted. You know what I mean? Like you said, it's the first time I think a USA basketball player has done it. We see Olympic swimmers do it all the time. Michael Phelps got to do it. The runners for sure. The runners do it all the time as well. So to see LeBron do it, one of the biggest figures, if not the biggest figure in basketball ever, depending on who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Being able to hold it, I'm sure that's a really big deal to him. And I'm saying he carrying the team, he might as well carry the flag. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And that's what I wanted to jump into, him carrying the team, which I think is pretty cool that he's actually been assertive in the exhibitions. Now, of course, these are just these exhibition games, but they did go 5-0. But some shaky times, man, especially the game against South Sudan, which they were down by 1 point with 12 seconds to go. They had to do a little bit of a game winner there, and LeBron coming through with the clutch layup. But South Sudan, like that's still like the biggest like game ever, and like in their history of basketball, they have really not competed at a national level that much. So it's crazy to see that, but this isn't the scorched earth that we wanted to see. Are you concerned about Team USA?
Of course I am. I was gonna, I think obviously we sent this kind of C team, maybe the B plus C plus team to the FIBAs, right? So this is what we wanted. We wanted to see our big stars again back in the USA, and I think Ant said, I love Ant's comment because he said the world has arrived in basketball, and although he's right, I'm still kind of like this team should still be rolling over people, right? Like we're looking at like we barely beat Germany too, even though they're the FIBA champions. Like their best player is a bench player in the NBA. Depending on the team he's playing, maybe a starter on a lower team. You know what I'm saying? And South Sudan, hats off to them, man. I swear this was a 30-point victory. You know what I'm saying? I swear it was a 30-point victory.
The actual line, like the betting odds, U.S. was favored by 42 points going into that game.
Exactly. And they literally gave it to USA like the entire game. This wasn't something where they came back and because they got laps. Like they gave it to them the entire game. So shout out to them. And then Australia too. Like they've got some couple of NBA players on that team as well. But you just I can't think about, a guy from, the guys that they have in Australia shouldn't also have given them that big of a problem. You know what I'm saying? And so, like if I was the USA team, like I'd be worried. Like if I'm LeBron, I'm talking about, your attitude, your focus, things of that nature. Y'all already know I've been talking about this for a really, really long time. And I'm glad the rest of the world started seeing it these last couple of years with Golden State, but people are really talking about how Steve Kerr is not a very good coach. You know what I'm saying? He's been pretty lucky these last couple of years. So I wish Spo was coaching. I think he'd do a better job. In all seriousness, after since Coach K retired, with his last couple of Olympics. But I think one of the things that I've enjoyed watching so far is like some of these players, like one Spo getting his hands on them. So it's just like I said, I love seeing a good coach. You know what I mean? So watching him get his hands on Ant and watching Ant do things that he doesn't normally do, kind of the same thing he did with LeBron. How LeBron was like, I'm not getting in the post, and he kind of forced him, and now it's one of his greatest go-to spots and moves. You know what I mean? So seeing Anthony Edwards work with Spo, and even watching AD work with Spo, instead of him shooting three-pointers entire practice, he's actually playing in the post and playing like really, really solid defense. Those are the type of things that I love seeing, and I'm getting really scared and tired of seeing all of these Bam to the Laker trade scenarios because him and LeBron are just playing so damn well. He's not allowed to go. Y'all can have Jimmy, y'all can't have Bam. I
know. I was gonna bring that up. I was seeing some of those Lakers, maybe going after Bam now. And he's been playing well alongside of AD too, which
that's the big thing too.
But it's crazy to see how like LeBron and Bam are like basically the same size though. Like when you've seen them play together, it's kind of interesting the way Bam just plays so bigger.
That's why I'm excited for the rookie we drafted, because I'm hoping that he'll play the center position. Like, he's a pretty tall kid. He's lanky. He's actually a really good shot blocker. Down low. He's done a lot to learn. Shout out to my boys. They just won the summer league championship. But shout out to them. But he played really, really well in that game. Memphis had a lot of sophomores in that game, so I'm actually surprised we won. And so I'm hoping we can get Bam to center. You know what I mean? Not center, sorry, power forward, because he's a small dude. He's like 6'9", 6'10". So I'd love to see him in his natural role, especially now he's shooting a lot more threes.
Yeah, for sure. It is interesting to see them play differently, but I definitely think LeBron is equating the results of this to his legacy, and I feel like he has been way more assertive than normal to try to make sure that they cross the line. They got to get it done. They got to get it done.
For sure.
Pop says they are no dream team, shouldn't be struggling against these biscuit teams. And it's true. It's like, and like you kind of said, it is the coaching that makes a difference. Obviously, we have a stacked roster, but some of these other teams, right, they are like playing together. They're teammates. They like run plays and stuff.
Yeah.
Some of our guys, you can't just totally throw them out there and just expect them to like figure it out on their own, because the world is catching up and is better, like Anthony said. Also, he said they need to pick like Brook Lopez. They keep going too small, so big men, which would be kind of interesting because some of these other countries do have people that they kind of use as like more of a bruiser type,
I feel like a lot of the other countries, obviously America has majority of the skill guys, right? Like, you look at this roster and you're like, God, like, how are we struggling like this? But a lot of like, Serbia's and the Germany's and, those teams, like, they all have like the big men from the NBA, they got a lot of biggest from the NBA, Dice and obviously Joker and things of that nature. So, Canada's going to come back. They're going to be better. But in my opinion, they probably have one of the more skilled teams as well. We've seen what Germany's been doing these last couple of games, and I give Dennis a hard time, being a bench player, but dude's playing tenacious defense. You know what I mean? Like, he's on whoever he's guarding tough. So, they just need to get in that same mindset. Like, these guys think about world champion stuff way more than they probably think about, say, the basketball one. And the USA needs to get into that mode, because like, if they come in and they lose and for whatever reason they're not playing for gold, like, it's embarrassing. Like, we talked that, like, the reason why most of these guys are here is because we got our butts kicked in FIBAs. You know what I mean? And if you guys come in with butt kicks too, I'm sorry, but the best player on the team right now should not be a 39-year-old LeBron James.
It
just shouldn't be.
Yeah, no, I feel that, and it would be a long wait until the next Olympics if they do lose. I mean, it's just they got to do it, but I think they're starting to feel that pressure, and that they'll ramp it up for sure. But yeah, their next couple games, or their set games, actually start. So with the opening ceremonies Friday, their first game is actually Sunday.
Yeah.
And so that should be pretty cool. They're playing Serbia. They're also playing South Sudan, and they're playing Puerto Rico. Those are the ones in their groups. So they should easily move on to their group. But I'm talking about no losses would be acceptable. I hope that South Sudan game, that they get them back a little bit, because they caught them by surprise and almost beat them, and probably should have beat them, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
But USA kind of lucked out on that one. But
LeBron misses that layup, it's a wrap.
Yeah. They picked this team based on small NBA instead of international game. I think that's definitely true. Like, if this is like a more of an NBA All Star, but the NBA plays a little differently pace, you know what I'm saying? Like, the way the game is played is not quite the same. And it's kind of funny where it's like the rest of the world might be trying to catch up to us because they play a little bit more old school, but the old school is working against this new school.
For real. So true.
Very interesting to see.
I saw something too that Tyrese Halliburton minutes is like completely depleted. Like, he hasn't really gotten any playing time. And, I feel like one of the things that Team USA needs is an actual playmaker. You know what I mean? I feel like they need an actual point guard to come in and orchestrate the offense. So him not getting any plays has been kind of annoying. If playmaking ability was really going to be an issue, or you're worried about things like he's going to play very good defense, or whatever the case may be, then maybe he should have been in the first place. Maybe you bring somebody in, like, we talked about Kyrie kind of getting snubbed. You know what I mean? Like, another veteran guard, who can handle playing around these guys. And I was going to ask you the question, and the Slackers a question. is, based on some of the games that you've seen or having, like, who would be your starting five? Like, who would your starting five be?
Man, that's kind of tough because I feel like right now it's kind of what been like Edwards, Booker, Curry, LeBron.
Jason Tatum got some run.
Yeah.
LeBron.
Or Jason Tatum. No. Yeah, I don't know. I just think.
Yeah, I think he started against Serbia and Australia.
So, yeah, I don't know. I think that would be a tough one. I think definitely, though, you got to have LeBron, Curry, Tatum. And then I guess they've been – I don't know if I would start Bam, but I would probably start AD at the center.
Yeah.
And who do you have? Because Curry's really not your guard, right? They're playing him as the point guard, but he's not really handling the ball like that.
Yeah.
So
mine is very, very similar to yours. My
who's
point
your
guard,
okay, go ahead.
My point guard essentially is Drew. I think Drew Holiday is going to be the best point guard for them. He doesn't need to score. He's going to shoot and make it when they need it.
And he plays defense.
He doesn't fall into that superstar category. So, like, he can handle the egos and make sure that people get the ball where they need it and things of that nature. Like, I really like Drew obviously defensive purposes too. So I like Drew at the 1, Steph at 2, probably Jason Tatum at 3. Only because I really like Ant coming off the bench and kind of
spark plug more.
Yeah, exactly. That instant offense. LeBron, and then, like you said, I think AD as well. And then sometime throughout the game, you make your adjustments and things of that nature, get some other guys in there. But that, LeBron, Steph, Bam, and AD combo, whoever else you want to put at the 1, like that 4 to me so far has been like the best 4 on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So I really like those guys playing together and playing really well together. Defensively, Bam and AD just been taking everybody, everything. So that'll be my starting 5. And I like your starting 5 too. Just plug in Drew for me at the point guard. But
got you. Yeah, because I think that is a better way. It just sucks because I like Anthony Edwards off the bench too because he doesn't need to like start the game, right? He comes in, he's doing what he wants to do.
He knows who he is immediately.
Right. The kind of wasted spot for me, or not wasted so far, but the iffy spot is Booker. Because he can obviously get hot and he can hit, but it's like he needs time to like get in the game flow, and he can't really get that run. So he's the one for me where I'm like, oh, they need more out of him. If he would just be like a little bit more quick with his trigger, I feel like they're just waiting for him to like get hot and really just run away with the game, like and just feed him like that. But
for sure,
it's not really happened yet. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious about KD too. I know they say
KD hasn't played at all yet. That's another thing I forgot to mention.
They were saying he probably could have played against Germany, but like probably just being precautious, you know what I'm saying? But KD gets back in there. Obviously, in my opinion, I think you replace Tatum with him. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But then it also kind of maybe KD helps Book get going. Someone that he's used to playing with. Because I think the biggest thing for some of these younger guys, I think it's kind of like it's imagine being one of the best. You're the best player by far on your team, but then you come here and you're like the 7th option. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. You're like, dang, I'm used to getting my touches.
My turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, can I shoot now? Or does this go to LeBron? You know what I'm saying? So, for me, I feel like you can see it in his face. He does not look as aggressive as he normally is because Book's super aggressive, sometimes too aggressive. You know what I mean? And he's definitely not playing D-Book basketball right now. And I think you're totally right. I think they're kind of waiting for him. Like, oh, you can shoot, bro. Like, when you're in there, go get a bucket, dog. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're just as good as any of these dudes on this team, and then go in there and get yours.
Yeah, he's got to be assertive for sure.
Yeah.
Pop says Drew, Curry, Edwards, LeBron, and AD.
Yeah,
that's a good one too, depending on the size.
Yeah, I like that one too. And honestly, maybe it kind of helps too. Like LeBron can kind of save his juice for later in the game if Ant's in there. You know what I mean? And maybe it allows some of the other guys on the bench to really get going. Because when Ant comes in, he's ready to score. He don't care who's on the court with him. LeBron, Steph, it don't matter. He's like, I'm gonna go and get mine. He's been an absolute beast too. So maybe Edwards does belong in the starting lineup. But I like Pop's 5 too.
Yeah. That's what's up. And I do think LeBron at the 4, if he just plays bully ball like he can, that's what he's been resorting to so far.
Yeah. No one can just stay in front of him.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep it moving though for sure. But we'll be excited to see that Olympic basketball coming up soon for real.
Yeah.
And I want them to, you know what I'm saying, still do what they're supposed to do and completely dominate. This is supposed to be the Avengers, Revengers, all that. So
right.
they need to suit up, man. They need to really suit up. Yeah, exactly. It's time for the snap. We talked real quick. You mentioned already the Heat, the champions, which I think is pretty cool. That they're doing the trophies and the rings now. I think this is like the second or third year that they've done the Summer League rings.
I talked about this last season too.
Which I think it is cool, and I do think the game was actually really close, went into overtime.
Yeah,
and man. the level of competition like in the Summer League keeps getting better. Obviously, you got the backdrop of like these guys are trying to get jobs, or these guys are trying to like prove themselves after like being bounced around to a couple different teams. So the Summer League is pretty dope, and I just think to me it just reminds to me that. They talked about, we might expand to two more teams, but is there enough talent to like keep the level of play up? Like there is plenty of talent, I think, out there. Yeah. You get some coaching. There's plenty of guys that can do their thing.
Absolutely. Not to mention, not all those guys are draftees. Some of these guys are G League players. You know what I mean? Like it's G League. It's second year players who are rookies. The season prior, and then obviously your draftees. So like I think there's plenty of players to get in there and create these teams. And I know I mentioned it a little bit ago, but my squad getting the dub, going undefeated in Summer League, and the game was actually really good, man. It was bro. Miami was down at halftime, but not by a lot. It was very, very close. Came back. It was 110 to 110. We had a three for 113 to 110. I was like, cool, we got it. There was like almost no time left. They come back and score 1-2 to tie it out, going to overtime. And I was talking about, I didn't think we were going to win it because Memphis they had Gigi Jackson coming back. They had Scottie Pippen Jr. playing too.
Right. So more veteran players considered.
Exactly. A lot of more so the other teams, a lot of their sophomore players or better kind of rookies in a sense, higher up rookies had gone home already. They played like 1 or 2 games and then they went back to join their NBA team. And not Memphis, they kept their dude. So I was like, now we're gonna get smacked. You know what I mean? And man, like the squad came out well. There's a couple of guys on that team that I'm actually kind of hoping make the team. Especially our point guard Christopher. I think he did more than enough to make this team, especially at a point guard spot, a position that we really, really need help with.
And he was hitting his threes. Yeah,
exactly, dude. And Ware, our first round player too. Just there's really I wasn't too sure about him. I wanted size. I remember saying like I wanted Edie, you know what I mean? Yeah. But obviously he went super early to Memphis. Our rook played super well. I think he had 20-something plus odd points, double-digit boards, and man, just happy to see the team do well. Even when we had Hawkins Jr. playing, I was like, cool, we got our vet on the team, but
he's already ready. Yeah,
he didn't stay. He only played. He missed the last, I think, 2 games of the championship game, and one prior to that. So, he went back to join Team USA, I think, in like the practice squad stuff. So, but yeah, man, I was really excited to kind of see them kind of finish this out.
Yeah, that was super dope. I do think, your rookie Kalel or whatever. I think he scored at least 12 points in every Summer League game. So I mean that's legit. That's contribution right off the bat. So
solid.
Last NBA story I wanted to talk about really quickly. This happened last week, but I didn't get a chance. I think it happened last Tuesday. Lindsey Harding joining the NBA or the Lakers coaching staff. I thought that was really cool. I wanted to call that out. She was a number 1 pick in the WNBA, had her playing career, had some different coaching stops. Most recently was the head coach for the Kings G League team. But now she's going to be joining JJ Redick's staff. So I think that's pretty gangster. I think Redick is putting together a really nice staff for the Lakers.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that they really get going on their player development like they talked about, but have like a solid game plan coming back for this next year. I'm kind of excited to see how it works out.
Yeah, I completely agree. We talked about this a while ago. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I always say, man, I love a coach who's willing to coach instead of someone just because any coach could come in here, inherit this team, and be like, I'm probably going to get to the playoffs, but at the end of the day, I still have LeBron and AD, right?
Yeah.
But to come in here and like to really put the coaching staff together and get some really fresh eyes, some young eyes, because he's young too. Right. You know what I mean? So, I'm like, is he older than us? Like, is JJ Redick even older than us?
I think barely. I think
what I'm saying. Like, I'd imagine it's not too much older if he is.
Right.
But yeah, man, I don't know. The older I get, the more and more I love seeing these coaches actually do their job and develop these players. You know what I mean? Like you're going to be in a better spot doing that, developing your younger guys and your supportive guys. Your superstars already know what they're doing. You know what I mean? And so yeah, I'm enjoying it too. Not even a Laker fan, but I'm kind of liking seeing what they've got putting together so far.
Yeah, most definitely. Should be cool. And he is 40. He's 84, so he's not very far. He's not very far ahead of us though.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of women balling out, I did want to talk about the All Star weekend. Team WNBA actually beating Team USA, which this has actually happened before. This happened a couple of years ago too. Which I think is like a telling sign of how good the WNBA is, like that different talent. Also, though, the fact that they really take their all-star games like a little bit more serious. Now, obviously, this was high scoring, but it was competitive. You know, both teams kind of felt like they had something more to prove. So
from jump too, like most times, like fourth quarter type stuff. You know what I'm saying? They were going at it quick early.
Yeah, for sure. And our girl Erica Angbuwale, I think is how you say her name, but
that's as close as I'm gonna get.
it was the MVP. She scored 32 points. All 32 points of her game were in the second half, which is crazy.
Yeah.
She just came out lighting it up, and I think that was pretty cool. Also, another cool thing is the WNBA All Stars. I've never seen this before. Actually, had a jersey change at halftime. They wore their pink uniforms in like those like pink and orangish in the first half, and then they came out blacked out for the second half, which I think that's kind of gangster. They're probably like, we can sell even more merch this way. I guess I don't know. I almost feel like they had two jerseys designed, but since the other team was just wearing their Team USA, they're like, all right, let's just go for it. I don't know.
That's probably the case. Yeah, they're like, we already made these, so
they're like, all right, we'll just have more two flavors. So
yeah.
I thought that was pretty different, but I think that they did a good job with the festivities. And then the other thing, obviously, everybody was looking forward to talking about was the rookies actually playing on the team together. Yeah. Caitlin Clark did drop one dime to Angel Reese. Caitlin Clark had 10 assists, but only 4 points, and Angel Reese had a double-double, which is typical for her since that's what she's been doing all year long.
Yep.
I wanted to get your thoughts about the All-Star game in general, and then I had a question about this duo as well.
Yeah, for sure. Love the All-Star festivities, man. It's I think that's probably one of the biggest they've had in a really, really long time. I love the WNBA players coming out. Like, they wanted to win this game so bad. And I love that they got Cheryl to be the head coach. I thought that was really, really dope. You know, so I thought that was super cool. And then she got interviewed, and she was like, I thought it was going to be all fun until I kind of found out, you know what I'm saying, for the girls, like how bad they wanted to win this game. She's like, and that's when I was like, oh, damn, okay, I got to lock in now because they really want to win that game, and they went out there and did that. And, you know, I think the WNBA did a really, you know, they just got that $2.2 billion television deal or something like that.
Yeah, like that's going to be their cut of the NBA deal, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's a big deal. I know they wanted more, and I think going forward, they're going to be able to ask for it, you know what I mean? So, you know, next couple of years, they're going to be able to ask for some more money as, you know, as the talent just gets so much better and these girls get, you know, I don't want to say more fun to watch because that sounds very, you know, condescending, but you know what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? The
competition, but more fun to watch, or like
exactly. Yeah. So I think it was a great game. And I want to, you know, I think, you know, we talked about, Ant said that Caitlin should be on the Olympic team, and I actually agree with that. You know what I mean? I know their thought process is, oh, she's going to have plenty of time to get on the Olympic team, but honestly, she's damn near averaging a double-double as well almost. You know what I mean? She's had some
with assists, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Set the record for assists this year as a rookie. And I think she's finally learned the WNBA game because she's been playing extremely well, getting off better shots, and finding her teammates. And, you know, I look at a woman who I've always loved in WNBA, and that's, you know, the White Mamba, you know what I'm saying, you know, DT, and it's like she has like 4 or 5, 6 gold. She has a crazy amount of gold medals already. You know what I'm saying? So I look at someone like her that potentially could have been left off, and, you know, if she and Angel Reese are on that team, that's just so many more jerseys to be sold, and right now they're getting the most watch time they've ever had, and you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like right now, I feel like the WNBA needs to be about their money, you know what I mean, and not necessarily about people's feelings, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like she definitely should have been on that team, but she will get her chance. She will get a gold medal when it's time. But I just felt like they didn't take full-blown advantage of everything they could have taken advantage of this season. You know what I'm saying? So learning scenario, I think they're not even used to how much attention they got this season. Right. And but yeah, man, All-Star game was fun. It was dope.
I agree. Definitely did a great job with it. I did like the format, but I like Pops's thing too. Pop says they're trying to force Clark and Reese to be friends. No way. Keep it chippy. Earn your wings. And I think that I agree with that. Like, I like the chippiness. I feel like they're always going to be rivals. And even still, though, they did play together in this game, but I still feel like it's still kind of frosty, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that's, we're going to do this right now.
We're just going to do this for the camera type thing.
Come the season. I think it's one of those things, too, where it was kind of fun to watch, right? Where it's like, oh, man, these guys have been, like, rivals, hate each other for years, and you get to see them playing together for a couple of minutes, you know what I mean? It's, you know, one of those type things. It's kind of like, you know, watching, you know, granted they were never like rivals or anything like that, but you know, the All-Star game where LeBron smacks the floor when he's guarding Kobe, you know what I mean, type thing. Like, yeah, one of those things you just the crowd just wants to see, you know what I mean? And then they can go back to hating each other tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's see what they can do on the court for 5 minutes together. But after that, y'all know what it is.
Right. I think this is long time like Magic Johnson, Larry Bird scenario. You know, this is like this is a rivalry.
It stays that way too.
Yeah, I agree. I think the rivalry sells better too than like everybody just being friends. You know.
Oh, absolutely. We don't have that no more. We need that.
Exactly. Pop's also responding to the Olympic team. She said, "No way, hasn't earned it. One great game doesn't make a season. Getting better, on track to be great." She's had lots of great games. But
yeah, Pops, are you watching?
I was gonna but I get what you're saying as far as like hasn't earned it. Like she is coming in as a rookie and as a younger player, but you know sometimes they throw the rookie or even the college senior on the Olympic team. Sometimes you know sometimes they have like that one spot for the younger one. It would have been kind of cool, but that's just something too. Like I guess. The thing is, I think it'll be good for Caitlin, though, to have a little bit of a break because she's been playing basketball, like, year-round for, like, basically nonstop for a while. So it's kind of cool that she will get a little bit of break during the Olympics right now and kind of reset.
The break. Yeah, she mentioned something you're going to get.
And that'll give her something to be hungry for, you know, because, you know, she's getting everything first off the bat, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, this will be one thing she'll have to wait for. So but she'll definitely be primed and ready by then. Anthony West says Christian Laettner was on the dream team. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like, you know, when they just kind of like bring in that one young player and stuff. So Pop said, how many consecutive double-doubles did Reese have? I think it was 12, which was the WNBA record, or maybe 13, but I'll double check on that.
Double check. It might have been 13 or 14. It was quite a bit.
Yeah, and that was the rookie. I mean, not just rookie record.
That's all-time record. Period. Yeah, that's period.
Yeah. Oh, she got 15 total. 15 total before it was ended on that game against Liberty, which I think she was only like 1 or 2 rebounds away in the game that it got snapped. So
no, the rebounds she made. I think she had 11 rebounds in that game.
But it was like 1 or 2 points away.
I think she had 8 points in that game. She was like 8 and 11 or something like that. But she missed and then they took a point away from her. So she actually had it, but they took 2 points away from her. I don't remember what for, but they took it away.
It was like the end of a thing or like a shot clock thing. Dang, that's crazy. But yeah, she's definitely balling out too. I think this will be actually a good race for Rookie of the Year. I still feel like Caitlin Clark will probably win it.
Yeah.
But
I think the you know, man, it's a popularity contest. I'm rooting for Reese. That's my girl. Like I'd love for her to get it, but you know, from the voter side, it's probably gonna go to Caitlin, probably most likely. Unless I feel like Cole though would be great. You know what I mean?
I can see that if they're like to keep the rivalry going and just to keep the story going for sure. But hopefully they don't do that though. I don't know that. I don't know. Pops wasn't feeling Laettner on the dream team either.
I don't think anybody really was. Honestly, it was just a weird placement. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. Like and don't get wrong. Like I see what Pops is saying in regards to her having to earn it. In normal, if this was the NBA, I completely agree. They don't need the viewership. You know, they don't need the money. But I feel like for the WNBA, like what they need right now is money. What they need right now are eyes, and Caitlin brings eyes. So I think from a business standpoint, they could have been mad. Like she could have rode the bench the whole time. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they probably not because people are gonna want to see her play too. But you know what I'm saying? Like the WNBA right now needs eyes and retention. You know what I mean? That's what they need. They need retention too. So keep people coming back to watch these games because Nobody's watching WNBA games, even when they were winning the golds.
Right, that's true. But I guess USA Basketball was like, nah, we're not tripping on that. But yeah, Diana Taurasi, 5 gold medals. She'll be going for 6 this year, which is pretty crazy, and that'll be her last ride for sure. So
she's 42.
Yeah, 42.
Oh, I'm like, yeah, she's not a young one, so
and she still balls out though. Like she's still so good. It's crazy.
Dude, yeah, it's crazy. The game I went to against the Sparks, I think she had like almost 30 or put up 30 in that game. She was just draining threes. It was crazy.
Dang. That's what's up. That's what's up. All right, we'll keep it moving really quickly. Let's see, what did we have next? A little bit of MLB really quickly. I did want to shout out Bobby Witt Jr., who we talked about him getting second place in the home run derby. Yeah. Since the return from the All Star break, he's been on a tear. He's 12 for 15 since the All Star break, and has had 4 straight games with at least 3 hits, which is like pretty dope, man. And just to see him. Like the Royals have had such a great year this year already. I know that it's going to be tough for them down the stretch to really make sure that they actually get one of those wild card spots. But still, this has been such a big step forward. And I love that they're putting a team around him because, they gave him the big money. They knew they had a star and he looks like he's, here for the long run. So super exciting. But the game against the Diamondbacks the other day, he started off with a triple, then hit a double, then hit a home run. He was going for the cycle, but got hit by pitch. Yeah. They plunked him in his 4th at bat, but he was 3 for 3 going into that. It would have been super dope. The last time Royals players hit for the cycle was George Brett back in, I think, the 70s. And so super, super crazy. I think it was like 79 the last time. So they were talking about how would be such a feat. But I think they kind of did that on purpose to take him out of his rhythm, personally. But he's still definitely a stud as Pops mentioned here. So
agreed. And then his first at bat today, he had a double. So he came back today, hit a double in his first at bat. So yeah, man, he's an absolute beast, man. Looking forward to guys like him, just their careers that they're gonna have. Him, Gunner, those guys only so young. But yeah, absolute stud, dude.
Most definitely. So wanted to give him some love. Real quick, the Braves, I thought this was kind of an interesting story. Not necessarily funny, but they've been injury ridden. Their boy Albies actually got a fracture in his hand. And so they went out and signed with Merrifield to replace him. And they also brought their rookie up, which his name is Nacho. I'm excited to see him play, but we'll see how he does. But it's funny. So Witt shows up, and the very first day he gets hit on the hand. And is out for a couple of days, but luckily he doesn't have a fracture. But they've definitely been injury plagued. I don't know, man. The Braves, they still have a lot of talent, and they're still doing pretty good as far as record wise. But I just don't know if they'll be able to recreate, their World Series run from a couple of years ago, especially not with these injuries. Yeah,
I don't think so either. I mean, even pitching wise too. Sale's been phenomenal all season so far. But you look at the amount of game. There's a lot of games left. You know what I'm saying? They have a lot of games left still. And like I'm kind of like like you said, they're still really good record wise, but I just don't see that kind of same dominance. That they had like even just last year. You know what I mean? Last year they were crazy. So I just don't really see that this year. And then a lot of those injuries, their best players not coming back this season. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, that's a problem.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see, but. I'm with you. I don't see it.
Yeah, that's sure. And Anthony says 1990. My bad. I don't know why I thought it was like 79 or 80, but I guess I was adding some years because I think they said it was like 34 years ago. So I guess that's not as long as it seems. So that's still only the 90s.
1970 just sounded better. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. It sounded way better. Don't ruin a good story, Anthony. I thought 79 sounded way better.
Why you always bringing up old stuff, man?
Literally. The last thing here, Mike Trout, he's actually starting his rehab assignment in AAA today, and just one of my favorite players of all time, and was on trajectory to be one of the greatest players of all time. I still feel like he can have a great career. He's obviously a great player. There's no question.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's just the injuries, man. It's like already, I hate to say that, but I feel like it's what could have been already with him.
Yeah.
So I just hope that he gets it back together, and you know what I'm saying, and can have a little good run of good luck and not have so many injuries coming up. But we'll see. All right, I think. Let's see. We don't have Marcus with us today, but we definitely got to talk golf. Xander Schaufele at the Open. It's crazy how such a quick time can turn things around. Xander was always like, oh, he's the best golfer to not have a major, and can he win the big one? And, will he ever get over the hump? Now he's got 2 major championships in 2 majors in like 2 months, basically. So big shout out to him. I love this picture with the cigar. I just think that that's super dope because he's like letting people know, like, hey, I'm here. And he's had a great run in the majors this year. So I definitely wanted to shout out to him. And then the other thing I wanted to mention, Nick Dunlap, our boy from earlier this year. He was at Alabama and actually won on the PGA Tour as an amateur. This time he won on the PGA Tour as a pro. So first time in history that a player has done that. Won two events in 1 year, one as an amateur, one as a pro. So big shout out to him. This time he's going to get to cash the check. And
for sure.
And he's also he's actually in the top 70, which the top 70 golfers go to the first playoff event, which is coming up next month. So that's a big step for him. He can get some money.
Yeah, heck yeah.
My bad. So but definitely still a couple more cool tournaments, but that's pretty much it for the majors for golf. I feel like the season kind of winds down for golf as football starts coming back and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So we'll see though. I still feel like Scheffler has one more tournament win in him. I'm hoping that he can do well in the playoff in the FedEx Cup.
I think so.
That would be pretty cool. But he's definitely quieted down over the past month or so.
Yeah.
I think, let's see. Real quick, college football. College football is basically August 24th is 0 week. So that's coming up really pretty quickly, just about a month away. And we're going to start off with Florida State versus Georgia Tech in Ireland, which is pretty crazy. That's the biggest game of 0 week. But I think that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see how Florida State bounces back after that, getting snubbed in the playoff and then getting beat down by Georgia. What do you think about Florida State, their outlook for next year?
I hope they build off of it. You know what I mean? I know it kind of sucks. Your star quarterback kind of goes down, late. You know what I mean? So that I know that's a big deal. But hopefully they can bounce back. I know a lot of times, it kind of goes one or two ways, right? You can kind of take it as we were disrespected all last year. Let's come back and show them, or you come back and your pride's hurt. You come back with your head down, and now all of a sudden instead of having a comeback year, you start the season off 0-3 or something. You know what I'm saying? And I doubt that because they're still a big school, but it's just one of those things where it's completely up to them. I think, you know what I mean. But I'd love to see how it bounce back year. I know Unk's usually rooting for him, so let's see if they can do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I almost feel like last year was kind of like their year to cash in on it. I'm curious. I feel like they might be a step back this year.
Yeah.
The conference is getting stronger, so we'll see. But I mean, they got to have a big bounce back year if they want to show that they were wrong and kind of get back up there. So we'll see. College football's back. I think it's pretty dope. Did you pick up the game?
No, I'm picking up this week actually.
All right, that's what's up. So you'll have to let me know what you think of it. Pops and I got a copy, and it's pretty dope, man. It's fun just to have it back. I know Anthony Weston I think he had the early access as well, but It's crazy. They sold 2.2 million copies of the pre-access, just that alone. So I'll be interested to see what numbers they end up doing. And I kind of want to compare it to like normal Madden numbers just to see. But I definitely think it's cool, like the different things, the different playbooks, being able to pitch the ball on any play type of thing is really pretty cool. So I thought that was dope. And then one last quick thing I want to mention for college football. This dude, Connor Stallions, right? That was like the center of the whole Michigan like Spygate thing for last year. Who was like caught on the sidelines of other teams and stuff like that. He's gonna be featured in this Netflix documentary series Untold. So Untold has done several different like sports figures and different like weird stories over the past. Like they did one about the Malice at the Palace and stuff like that. So I'm interested to see. I'm definitely gonna watch this one just to see like that side of the story and like how deep he ended up going.
Oh, for sure. Because if there was more stuff involved, like he probably doesn't want to take the fall for it, and they probably paid him a bunch of money for this story too. So I'm interested too. You know, he gonna tell everything.
Exactly. He's going to tell all. So we'll see what that does, and it's going to be kind of interesting that it's right before the season starts. But It's funny there. You know, they already Michigan. They won. They're the champions. You know, it is what it is. But it's just going to be interesting to hear a little bit more about that story, about how that unfolded. So we'll see. All right. A little bit of NFL talk. Camps are opening this week. Most people reported either today or tomorrow to actual training camps. CeeDee Lamb is going to be a holdout, it looks like so far, without him having that new contract. Brandon Ayuk, on the other hand, after demanding a trade, looks like he is reporting to camp. You got Hassan Reddick that's also holding out, and then Jordan Love, who they said he's holding in, which I haven't heard this term before, but he's there. He's participating in everything except for practice. He's not going to practice until he gets a new deal, which is crazy. After only 1 year, he started kind of shaky as a starter, but he finished strong, and he's seeing the payday that Trevor Lawrence is getting and all these other players. So he's ready to get his money too.
Yeah, I know. It's funny thing. I heard talks are really, really good with them right now. So I think that's kind of why he's showing up to everything. And then, practice wise, it's kind of one of those things where if I'm not practicing, so he probably doesn't want to risk getting injured, right?
Right.
So I think he will get a payday, but like 1 season. But you know what I mean? Like, granted, I get it. You ended it strong, but I'm like, dang, really? Like, these guys are getting paid so early. Like, I just feel like as an organization, I'd want to see more from you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I get it. He sat behind Rodgers for so long. He's getting to that point where he does need to get a new payday. You know what I mean? And so I get it. But man, one season.
Exactly. But he does have them in a tight spot right now too.
Oh yeah,
because he has that leverage they built around him. So they're gonna have to pay him.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna get paid.
Yeah, I think Lamb's definitely gonna get paid too. The Cowboys reportedly internally have talked about prioritizing him over Dak's new contract, which is like, if that was the case, then you should have just got this done way sooner.
Oh yeah.
So I'm kind of a little bit disappointed with that. We even talked about when Jefferson got his. It's like now CeeDee Lamb that has a new range and a new target to look at where, they should have just handled it. Whoever is going to go first is going to get big money. It's going to be that sticker shock, but you don't want to go last.
Exactly.
And it looks like that's what Jerry Jones and them are going to have to do. So we'll see, man. I think it's just very interesting, though, how they have everything set up with the coaches and Dak. Everybody is on their last year. So I feel like it's a boomer bust thing right now.
Yeah.
Anthony West says Jerry and Co has botched contracts. Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know what to say other than I agree. It's just some different things, but the thing is, I feel like they still have like that earnest like trust, like, oh, this is a family business, like we're gonna take care of you, but it's like players don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that simple to get people signed. So
yeah,
I don't know. We'll see. But again, training camp's just starting. That is an exciting indicator that we are very close. Next Thursday will be the Hall of Fame game. So the countdown is on so we can see a little bit of football. But what I wanted to do real quick today is I wanted to play a little game. We have a few quarterback actual competitions going into training camp. So I wanted to have us predict the day one starter for these 3 different teams. So first up, Slackers, please play along. But Strizzy, I want to know, for the Vikings, who do you think is going to be the day one starter? Is it going to be J.J. McCarthy or is it going to be Sam Darnold?
That's tricky, but I think who it should be is maybe Darnold. You know what I mean? Just to kind of start things off. You know what I mean? He's a veteran. He looked halfway decent with the 49ers.
Yeah.
And he looked really good in his last like 6-7 games with the Panthers. He did literally 1 game from getting us into the playoffs. So winning the division that year, which is crazy. But if you're looking to your future, you know what I mean? Like, just start McCarthy. Let him get his growing pains in now. You know what I mean? JJ's still really young too. Get their connection going now. So who they might start depending on, unless JJ just completely just beats him like hard, like they might go with the veteran. But I think you start JJ. I think you start him off with this. Get him going early. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Bryce, granted, I know Bryce was the first overall pick, so he definitely starts, but he wasn't ready last year. And
you still got to do it.
Yeah, he got his growing pains in, and So yeah, I think Jay, you drafted him high. You know what I mean? You might as well get him in there starting.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I would probably do. Sam Darnold has shown what he can do, which is be like a solid, like like a
backup,
like a yeah, exactly, like and then a like a kind of a fill-in starter for a couple weeks at a time type of thing. I feel like his veteranness, like I think though it might win him the job just because they have enough weapons to where he should be able to like go out there and make it look good.
Right.
But I agree with you. Like if I was the Vikings, though, you already drafted this guy. You know what you got in Darnold. Just let him be the backup in case something bad happens, and just put McCarthy out there and let him get his let him get his licks.
Yeah.
Pop says McCarthy. Anthony Weston says Darnold until Thanksgiving, unless injuries do it earlier. So yeah, we'll see. But I could see them doing that too. But I agree. Just rip the Band-Aid, throw him out there.
Exactly.
All right, another similar one for the Patriots. We got Jacoby Brissett or Drake May. So far, it looks like Jacoby Brissett is is like obviously they brought him in there. He's an 8-year veteran.
Yeah.
He started at different times. Did really well actually for the Browns in Deshaun Watson's place.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think will end up being the day one starter for the Patriots?
I think Drake May. Same kind of same situation with Minnesota, right? It's like the only thing that might scare me away from May is that they just don't have a team yet. You know what I mean? They don't have receivers. They don't have guys that help him look good. You know what I mean? Matt Jones literally played with no one. So it's like I know I gave him a lot of crap, for his years just being horrible. But like he also didn't have anyone to throw to. Like his receivers were god awful his entire tenure there. Also didn't have a running back. Well, I guess Stevenson's pretty decent, but you know what I mean. Like he's injured all the time. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where it's like let's kind of see what the Patriots are made of, and they got a new coach this year too. You know what I'm saying? Let's see what they're kind of made of before you throw the rookie in there. So maybe Brissett. This might be my aunt answer. Brissett till Thanksgiving, and then throw Drake May in there. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
Kind of same scenario. It's like you drafted him high, you got him for a reason. Get the licks in now. See what you got. You know what I mean? And Brissett can play a really good backup. If he's really, really horrible, maybe you save his face a little bit and bring Jacoby in kind of early. You know what I mean? But I'm thinking May, man. I'm thinking May.
That's so funny. I'm kind of the same. Like I feel like though that like the Vikings are in a better spot with their roster around their rookie, right? So you can throw them out there and everybody kind of lift them up. I feel the same as you. Like the Patriots just don't have much to help him out. It's not like they're just like, all right, we just need you to succeed. It's like, no, we need you to succeed and you to bring these other guys up,
for real,
and make do with less. So that's why I kind of feel like with Brissett, with them bringing him in here, they're like, you're gonna have to basically like take this one and try to make us look decent for a little while.
Right.
So I think for this one they might just start Brissett only because they'll be so bad everywhere else that they need a sure thing at quarterback, at least a steady thing at quarterback. But Pops agrees with you. He says put May in there. Anthony Weston says same. Brissett will start. I trust him more than Darnold. We'll see. Anthony also says the thing that you have to be sure is dude is ready because you can start a rookie first and you bench him. That kills his confidence. Definitely. And I agree. Like you do have to know who you got, but hopefully you didn't draft anybody that's too shaky like that. I always think back to there are different guys, but Ryan Leaf. You know what I'm saying? Like okay, like he couldn't handle it or whatever, or he kind of was. He had some bad things going and he never got the same. But then you look at a guy like Troy Aikman. He came in. They were like 1-15 their first year or whatever. They only won one game his first year, but he was learning and he was getting what he needed to get done. So if you have a guy that can take those lumps and keep moving and understand like that it's not necessarily him, but it's just part of the growing pains, then put him out there because it's going to happen at one point or another.
That's what I'm hoping for Bryce, man.
Exactly.
We got some help now. Way better receivers than we did last year, but I'm just hoping it was just obviously the coaching staff was god awful. The players around him were god awful. I'm just chalking it up to like he'll have a much better season this year for the level.
he'll be fine. And I feel like that didn't shake his confidence. He knows what he is. Yeah. And a lot of people want to compare him to CJ Stroud right away, but it's like it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's just the first year. And nobody expected Stroud, even if you liked him more, to kind of be as good as he was already. So it's really not the right comparison to make. So
sure.
All right, last one we'll do before we close out today. We've got Denver. We got Jared. We got a threesome here. Jared Stidham, Bo Nix, or Zach Wilson.
Oh, Bo Nix. You know what I mean? Like I've always said, especially with football, if you stay in college a really long time, and he did and had a lot of success, you know what I mean? Like, just minus the national championship, like you usually come into a situation better off, right? You're smarter. You think your thinking process is just better. You're not a kid. He's not a kid. You know what I mean? Like, so I think Bo for sure. Zach Wilson, third string. You know what I mean? I think Stidham even comes in at second. You know what I'm saying? So I think you definitely start Bo. He's probably my only for sure, especially because, Broncos are about high scrutiny, you know what I mean, from what they did, kind of Russell Wilson and things of that nature last year. I think they got a lot of some groveling to do a little bit, you know what I mean, and just kind of getting past that stuff with Sean Payton, you know what I mean. But yeah, I think it's Bo. I think he, unless during training camp he just looks horrible,
really bad.
Yeah, really, really bad, you know. But yeah, for me, I think it's Bo.
Yeah, I agree. Anthony Weston as well. He said Bo. Pop said Knicks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I think. What Anthony said. Yeah.
He said this one I'm sure about. You definitely know what you have in the other two. Plus, their coach is not patient. I agree. I think this is the kind of one where it's a little bit clearer. That's probably the reason why there's three of them, anyways, right? The other ones, you have a rookie and a clear-cut veteran who's been around. You know what I'm saying? And knows. Yeah. This one, Stidham and Wilson, they've been around a little bit, but they're not veteran like that, where it's like they're that much farther ahead than Knicks will be. And that's a great point you made. He stayed in college a long time, and he's a little bit more mature. I feel like as long as he picks up the offense, as long as he can go under center a couple times, he'll be fine. So that's what's up. All right, cool. So those are the big quarterback battles. I feel like those are the three that are probably the most in flex. We also have Jaden Daniels for the Commanders. I think he's insurance to start too. So I don't think that's even really a competition. Caleb Williams for the Bears, obviously he's going to start. So those are not too much. Oh, Anthony West says, how about the Raiders? We'll have to do that one. Who's again?
They got O'Connell for Aiden. They got Aiden O'Connell. Who did they draft again?
No, that's who they drafted. But
is it? Oh yeah, you're right. Gardner Minshew.
Yeah, Gardner Minshew. That's who it is. I was trying to think. I was like, who is their veteran? Gardner Minshew versus Aiden O'Connell. Yeah, that's I don't know.
It's tricky because Gardner Minshew plays well when the expectations are low, right? When he comes in mid-season or not right. Comes in sometime after there's already a starter, but when he's the clear-cut starter, he doesn't play as well. You know what I mean? So that's kind of tricky. I think I just really like him as the backup, and it's kind of the same thing. Like it's a new Raiders team. We're already looking. They're already talking about trading. So I saw something that looked like they were talking about trading.
Adams.
What's the receiver?
Adams. Devontae.
Yeah, Adams. Yeah, Devontae Adams and Brandon Ayuk, like straight up, almost. Like, I think that'd be insane. Like watching Adams in San Francisco would be nuts, in my opinion. That's a huge upgrade. I love Brandon Ayuk, but that's a monstrous upgrade.
Right. That's an interesting one. I don't know. I do feel like the Raiders though are so weird because they basically let Carr go. They're trying something new. They tried Stidham last year, right? And then now they let Jacobs go too. So it's like I love Zamir White from Georgia, but he kind of came out of nowhere. Like he was undrafted. He's a great running back, but it's like their weapons are so different, And now they got Brock Bowers over there. I'm like, just give him somebody to throw him the ball, please.
For sure.
But I don't know. Pop says Aiden O'Connell. Anthony Weston says Minshew based on money, but I would start Aiden.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll see. But, yeah, I kind of agree with you, though. Minshew, we know what he is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So. It's going to be tough, too, because I know, Antonio Pierce had a really good kind of last couple of games, the season to kind of secure the head job going forward. but he's gonna be under a microscope. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna be kind of watching him, kind of see how he does. So I know that's probably gonna play into his role too. Like who gives me, a legitimate chance to win some of these games. You know what I mean? And kind of secure my spot as the head coach for this job. I definitely think he earned it. I think he earned it. But it's hard sometimes coming in as getting the full-time job after being an intern. You know what I mean? So we'll see what happens.
I think as long as he keeps them afloat, with those little weapons, and as long as the defense does well, then they'll be going fishing next year for like Dak Prescott or another big free agent. So that's unfortunately how I see it going down. I feel like it doesn't really matter who their quarterback is this year. It's like a placeholder.
For real.
But we'll see. All right, that's what's up. Did another great job today, holding it down. Again, we want to shout out to our brother Mad Marcus as always. Much love to him and all that he does to support our show. And then as well, all of our slackers out there keeping the comments coming, being a part of the show, watching, whether you do that live or we've seen our downloads keep going up on the podcast side. So if you're listening later, we see you. We appreciate you too. But until then, I think we'll keep things rolling. I think we got a lot to look forward to. Next week, we're going to have football, which, albeit it won't be no starters or anything like that. We still have some football to watch. So that is super exciting. It's almost here. So until then, and we got Team USA basketball. The real deal starts on Sunday. So
for sure.
So we'll be back talking about more of that. But until then, that was episode 256 of Say Like a Champ. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy.
Peace.